Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. Particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters on Patreon over at patreon.com/fsfilms, without whom we wouldn't do nearly as much of the things that we do. Those being Samantha Bates, Drevian Alexander, Cat Waterflame, and Elle. Thank you very much for your support over the years, and thank you to everyone else that supports us in any way that you do. We wouldn't be here this long without you. So, those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran Terra Shadowfront. I am Sen, your game master for the evening. And joining me today is Nikki.
Hi, it's me, Nikki. I'll be playing Scuzz, your goblin rogue, and happy Pride. It's almost done, but we're ready for Wrath Month. Oh, fuck,
Yes,
we're
we
ready
are.
for Wrath Month.
That implies that Wrath Month wasn't also Pride Month. And Mara.
A season of wrath. That'd be fun. Hi, it's like construction season.
Season of
My name's Mara. I'm playing Titania Valkorian, Eladrin, Circle of the Grim Harvest Druid.
And Craig.
I'll be playing Grumman Bellmender, Proud Dad, and also a Dwarven Way the Drunken Master Monk.
Greg, are you just going to be not a mimic the entire time, or?
That explains why none of you have been responding to my emphatic hand gestures. Hold on.
I assumed it was intentional.
I figured it was a bit, but I wanted to check.
Always good to check. And Holly.
There we go.
Now we just have. Now you just have the Messiah over your head.
I like it.
Sphere, the Dagon sphere.
Sorry, that's distracting. Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Vespia, a tiefling channeler.
Yeah. And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Valdis Stonebeard, the dwarven samurai.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Sin, Changeling Warlock.
And Dakota.
Hi, I'm playing Ithrin Valar, Hobgoblin War Wizard.
And you have a multipass. And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Gent Minar, the half-elf Triggermancer Spellslinger.
And as always, Black Lives Matter and trans rights are human rights. And I am... And pardon for the color correction on my camera. I'm currently fighting with my camera to make it either less racist or at least not make me look sick. So it's a long battle. Anyways,
Also, fuck the Supreme Court.
Fuck the Supreme Court.
Fuck 'em hard.
Like
Everybody with a
every
uterus,
fucking day,
we support
motherfucker.
fuck the Supreme Court. Find the UN, go to the UN website, and tell them there's a hate crime going on in the US.
There's legitimately a great TikTok trend from a tweet which is "fuck your zodiac sign." I want to know what song you're gonna fight the Supreme Court to in an I can't remember what, so like Applebee's parking lot.
I have a playlist. I have that playlist.
Queens, we will rock you. Anyways.
Globot, stop the apocalypse.
Start a riot from the Spidey into the Spideyverse.
The
So-
Wellerman.
There you go, bud.
When last we left off, there was a wedding. The lovely trio of Titania, Gent, and Valdeth were married aboard the Continual Reconstruction, the ship of Grumman's youngest daughter, Lavinda Belmender. And the ceremony was completed. The rings were passed, vows were made, and an uninvited guest arrived, standing on the water beyond the ship, as Titania's great uncle had arrived to give his blessing, and by his blessing, a stolen soul herald of Dagoth. which he had somehow managed to manipulate or control or command into attacking the party. Defending themselves as best they could, the party eventually managed to drive off or kill the Soul Herald. And as its massive corpse crumbles into obsidian-like debris into the water before dissolving in the ocean, the group of you pause and take a breath as you are trying to figure out what's going to happen next. That's where I pick up.
I would like to not be in the brig anymore. That would be
Also,
great.
same.
So the two of you were not in the brig. You were...
I feel like it would be appropriate for us to be in the brig.
You
no.
can't keep me chained.
His was Flower Goblin.
Yeah, Skuz was the flower goblin.
Like, look, you two are not fucking this up.
I was just outside of the brig every time you tried to dimension door out, counterspell.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, do you know what flowers Grumman made sure you had to throw?
No. What did I have?
Buttercups.
Of course.
Amazing.
I
do like the idea of trying to dimension dark you counterspell. Like, I'm a warlock. I get my spell slots back quicker.
No, you were both below decks, helping keep the ship from sinking. Because the first thing that sort of happened was the dragon, the Soul Herald, as it approached, it actually landed on the bowsprit of the ship and cracked the hull with its claws as it landed. So the majority, you were down below decks with the majority of the crew, keeping the ship from sinking during the fight.
The engine's overheating. We need some sort of fat-based organic lubricant.
Here's the thing, though. I just have to counterspell twice, and then I just cast Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum, and then you can't get out for a day.
There you go.
This is your timeout space.
Amazing.
You know what you did.
You did hear the sounds of something large and mechanical punching. And as the two of you arrive on deck to sort of see the aftermath of the fight, you see that the large statue at the front of the ship, which is a statue of Valkyr, has begun to reset itself back in its sort of housing and stop moving.
Fuck him! God!
What a beautiful wedding until that thing showed up.
All right.
I mean, there's always at least one uninvited guest.
Somebody want to explain
That a
exactly
scuzz made to the waiter.
Gent is reloading and teleporting up to the highest point that he can get in the rigging 30 feet off the deck and looking for his uncle because he doesn't put it past him.
Make a perception check.
Who was that? Vespia will ask.
Uninvited relatives abound.
Great,
18.
Great. Oh, cool.
The person we're dealing with, Valdeth says as she turns the brooch back to normal.
I take it you two are not close.
Inarian Valkorian, the god of fiends and cowards.
So what are we doing? Killing, fighting, banishing, running away. Oops.
Oh, it's kind of crumbling. Can I grab any of the pieces? I'm curious. What
Give me a
this
dexterity
stuff
saving
is.
throw.
Okay.
Oh yeah, is there? Yeah, is. Ooh, never mind.
So yeah, Gent with an 18. You don't see any sign of Alfenbar.
Okay. Or anyone else?
You do see something odd happening with the water.
Like environmental? Is it starting to shift? Is it doing a weird current thing?
It's moving in an odd way. Like it's not. There's a spot of water that's not moving uniform with the rest of the water.
strange fluid motions, and he'll just point it out to anybody who might be able to see.
Yeah,
We
Titania.
are going to a vertical waterfall, is it?
Titania, you manage to grab a sort of a fist-sized chunk of obsidian.
Yeah.
And as you grab it, it's cold to the touch, but it sort of looked like it was about to start crumbling, and then you grabbed it and it stopped. And now it's just, it's very firm, like it's a very firm piece of obsidian.
Okay. And
I realize the irony in me pointing this out, and he kind of wiggles his new fingers and says, but maybe we should be a bit more careful before grabbing substances we don't know anything about.
Meanwhile, some of the sailors have run over to the side where Gent had pointed out while you're all sort of watching Titania grab things. And you just hear, oh shit, and a commotion begins happening as several of the sailors that are on deck begin running down below decks. You see Lavinda heading up to the Lavinda heads up to the wheel, and Saga is sort of like kicking their chapters down below the sort of like through the grates to be repaired later. It seems like they are clearing things off the deck.
What's your fucking language, dear?
Grace, I think.
what's happening?
Everyone better grab a hold of something.
Now that reinforces her hold on the rigging.
Gent's got an arm wrapped.
Go ahead and everyone give me either a strength saving throw or an athletics check, one of the two.
Oh no.
Make either of those with
Oh,
advantage.
good. I am equally
Dirty 20.
good at both of these things.
Bye.
Can I make a argument for Dex to be that weirdo that chickens like,
You'll see why. You'll see why in a second.
I try to
Yoink!
Guys.
what?
Well, you'll have a chance to do something in a second. This is just the initial rolls.
4!
Wicked buzzing going. Okay. hang
Or
on.
what, Jeremy?
Apparently, thank you, Abalok.
Buzzing.
Apparently, the application audio outbook has just completely decided to fuck itself. So, we're gonna turn that off. Yeah, apparently. So, we learned it now. I sound fine, but everyone else sounds like a can of bees. Yeah, it's for those watching while I'm fixing our audio. We've been for a little while using a particular audio codec that basically just grabs the Zoom audio and pulls it into OBS so that y'all don't have to hear when my computer makes random Windows sounds. And apparently it is interfering with something. It's the application audio output capture.
You to isolate certain ones.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, they can hear you guys now.
Yay. Can they hear us without buzzing is the question.
Presumably, because once I switch to my headphones, I'm not hearing you with buzzing, and they're hearing what I'm hearing. So, yeah, I have like says the bees have been sorted. Thank you. Anyways, sorry, but yeah, that distraction aside. Sorry, El. So, you all grab. Nikki, do you need assistance rolling your strength save?
Nope. No. So the computer that I am on did not have Beyond 20 downloaded. So I rolled it with D&D Beyond. I made a 14 on my save.
Gotcha.
I now have the extension downloaded. We are good to go now.
All right, cool. So there is you're told to brace and grab, and you all just sort of grab. and nothing happens immediately. But you can hear the rapid spinning of a wheel as Lavinda is trying to steer the ship away from something, and you can also hear the slight increasing rumbling of the engines below decks beginning to kick on. Unfortunately, the engines below decks don't kick on fast enough, as there is this sort of like odd gurgle and burp sound, and the world inverts as the ship is launched into the air. There is just an explosion of water as an inverted waterfall erupts underneath you.
A geyser.
No, a waterfall. There is a difference.
After a while, I think at first they're probably indistinguishable.
I feel like with the force of pushing it upwards,
It's less of a spike and more of a wall. As yes, this sheet of water just clips the back end of the ship, and in such a way that the ship is in the middle of rising and doing a forward flip.
Oh my god.
While the ship is upside down, launched into the air at high velocity, you're all clinging to the ship. Some of you not as good as others. The sudden force and inversion of the ship that you weren't really prepared for, because they didn't have time to brief you on what was about to happen while they were focusing on getting their jobs done, means that Sin, Scuzz, Vespia. Sorry, I for some reason I keep missing the I.
He's wasted, not a wasp.
Sin, Scuzz, and Vespia all are just launched from the deck of the ship as it goes up. Now you may react, those of you that want to try to do things.
Featherfall.
I'll try to grab anybody who's going by me, and I will also pop the forearm bracers. So I got two extra grabbers.
So they're not going.
So
they're not going by you. You've passed them. The ship is going faster than they are at the moment because they are now falling. So
I like the idea that like the ship gets upended from behind, so it's doing like a forward flip.
Exactly.
Imagining the carnival ride ship that literally goes over.
With them slow fall is just them spinning through the air as the ship flips over them and then arrives back under them.
Yeah. So to give the visual, here's the ship. Here's where they were. The ship went like this, and they couldn't hold on. So now they're going like that.
How
it's a modified tractor trailer from the Dark Knight.
Well, right now they're going very slow. They are going very slow because Ithram got slow fall off. How many people can you target with slow fall?
Can I?
Ithram or Featherfall?
Up to 5.
Jeremy.
Can I grab? Is there somebody who is falling that is within arm's reach of me?
Roll me a D100.
63.
Yeah, we'll say Scuzz. We'll say Scuzz is closer to you than Vespia is.
Yeah,
I'm
Vespia was
grabbing
next to me.
Scuzz and I'm dimension dooring to the top, to the bottom of the boat.
Okay.
As you do this, because it's really like, I could have dimensioned to one of our friends.
So yeah, so you grab
I'm
Scuzz.
acting quickly. I don't have,
No, you're good.
Yeah,
You do
and
the Lord's work.
You
Thank
both find yourselves sort of like slammed against the roof of the bottommost floor deck of the ship.
I mean,
Wait,
that
so
works even better. I was literally just thinking on the bottom of the boat, which is the top of the boat. But
I mean, if that's what you're aiming for, you can be there. But I figured you were trying to get inside the boat.
no, if I can get inside, that's better.
Oh yeah,
that's
you've
much
been there.
better.
You know where it's at. So you just...
Question.
Yes, Dakota.
Instead of Featherfall, does it have to be a reaction? Like reaction
Like,
spell?
at this point, you're reacting because.
Okay, then yeah, Featherfall will keep her in the air for a while then.
Okay. So the ship continues to rocket up as it begins to tilt back. Vespia is slowly falling. Mara?
I have a broom of flying. I'm gonna get up there.
Or down there?
I don't know how down, up, whatever direction it is.
So you're going to let go of the ship and broom?
Yep.
Okay. So you let go of the ship. You, the broom's your staff, right?
Yeah.
So you whip it down. You go ahead and give me a
Witch's cackle. Just
give me a strength check or strength check or acrobatics. Just to see if you can fall and position yourself on the broom properly to activate it. 30?
Okay.
Oh no, that's Scuzz,
No.
not.
Literally
is
just
doing
message like
test rolls.
just testing a
Okay.
roll.
15.
Don't make me-
15, that's enough. Yeah, you're able to wrestle the staff against the force of you falling down to a point where you can actually use it. And yeah, you're flying now. So you can with
Wait, I
Vespia
have
slow falling.
wings too, possibly. Oh well, this is fun.
With Vespia slow falling, you can use the broom to catch her fairly easily.
Yep.
The rest of you, I need another strength save as the ship flips again violently. Strength or athletics for the rest of you. And sort of comes to almost sort of hangs in the air. And as it hangs in the air, you hear as those of you that are below the ship now see a pair of large leather and steel wings pop out from the sides, and these two sort of canister-esque engines that were previously under the water kick in as the ship transforms into an airship in order to not crash back down in the water. And
26.
Make another athletics or strength save.
not Vespia, because Vespia was falling
And has been caught.
and has
You've
been
been
caught
caught
Titania.
by Titania. Yes,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
on the vroom broom. That's not what it's called, but that's. All
I mean, it is
13.
now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
boy.
now. It's the broom broom.
So
Uh-huh.
fortunately, Sin, you are inside the ship. So when
Right.
you fail your strength save, mostly you just get slammed into the far wall. As the sudden change in direction rockets the ship forward. The rest of you manage to hold on to whatever it was that you were clinging to previously, as again the ship rockets forward. Not particularly fast, and definitely not as fast as the experimental airship back in Taram, but enough for it to keep its air, and you to not fall off.
I'm just imagining Scuzz holding on to Sin, and Sin goes flying into the wall, and then Scuzz flies into Sin.
I mean, alternatively, depending on which way they were facing, maybe Scuzz hit the wall first and Sin slammed into him, whoopee cushion style.
No,
Now,
no.
Lavinda, having seen
It's the Butterball
Titania,
special.
Titania like drop, but not knowing that Titania has a broom of flying because the ship was spinning too fast, has immediately sort of spun the wheel, and you see that a few more controls have appeared next to the wheel of the ship. Spins the wheel, grabs a lever, pushes it, and the entire ship does this sort of a. I'm trying to think of what sort of angles down 20 degrees, and angles down 20 degrees and sort of dips towards the water as it tries to drop fast enough to catch people. But Titania, you just sort of see the ship beginning to come crashing down towards you.
Yeah.
That you, as you come over top of it with Vespia, Lavinda sees you and pulls back on that lever, and the ship nose dips back up, and you are all holding on or hitting walls, safe for the moment, as the continual reconstruction has taken to the air temporarily.
Beautiful flying deer. Absolutely lovely. Oh, it's every father's dream to live long enough to see his children become way more fucking cool than he is.
I need you to shut up, Da, before I run us into a mountain.
You got it, Captain. Captain Cookie. You remember when we used to call you? Okay, shut it up.
At Captain Cookie, you heard the hammer of her pistol cock back.
Okay.
So.
The thing I grabbed was. Do I still have it?
Yeah,
By the
yeah,
way?
you still
I
have
don't
it.
even know if I still have it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you still have it.
Still have it. It's like a football. All right.
Like a little football.
Uh-huh. Is a or was a piece of, I don't know, that was an aspect of Dagoth. How the hell? I don't know what that means.
Is it because you had a Valkyrian wedding?
I doubt that,
No.
Valda says as she climbs down from the rigging.
I just know some degrees of orthodoxy can be very harsh if you marry outside the church.
No, these creatures, from my understanding, only are there. They serve the same function as a reaper for other mortal beings, but they are reserved for beings of greater power.
The kind of beings
Or
that might
ability.
die and disagree with that fact.
Yes.
So does that mean we're already on the way to apotheosis?
I believe it was under Ternalian's control rather than Dagoth's. Somehow Ternalian gained dominion over it for a while.
Titania, make a religion check for me
Okay.
while you're holding that
That
piece
is
of obsidian.
sort of Ternalian's modus operandi, is taking control
I'm
of
gonna
things.
use my inspiration.
Okay, go ahead.
Like from other religions and so
Hey!
forth? I dig off the
You're
whole
new to
thing.
the religion.
Yeah.
I just happen to read a lot of books.
Sorry, what was that question, Craig?
Does it have to do with the fact that it's the home religion, or is it like, is that why he's dipping into this particular? Because Grumman is asking if Dagoth is the state religion of Ternalia.
Taram. No, the state
Sorry.
religion of Taram was the God Emperor.
Oh, all right. Okay. Is it? How does? But you're a follower of Dagoth, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
There were some
Freedom of
changes.
religion a big thing back home, or?
It was reasonably acceptable to venerate various deities. It's, of course, rather impressive when you have a deity in residence as your physical head of state. That does tend to draw a bit of primacy in social situations.
And he was my like great grandfather.
You could just say grandfather. I mean, I think we all understand.
I don't know how many numbers there are supposed to be of the greats, but there's a lot of them.
Pretty great.
Yep.
I mean, that's so great if he just like brought like a whole scary mechanical thing to like attack your wedding. A wedding. The wedding.
No, that was the God
This
Emperor's
wedding.
son.
What a dick. Sorry. Just
No, he
my
is.
opinions. Let my opinions be known.
I can argue.
I like the response of, sorry, no, he is.
Yeah.
None of us are under any delusions here. Not about that, anyway.
Is this something you had some idea he could already do, or is this something else for us to worry about and add to the list?
No. No.
I think that's a new one.
Well, it was always a capability in the abstract, but seeing the actual practical implication of it is...
Anyone who wants to, at this point, can make a religion check now that you're sort of on that subject.
Ooh,
Why
pick
not?
me. 15.
I'm not going to roll
Perfectly
that low.
average.
6.
Yeah.
Is that what I
I'm not
expected?
rolling since I'm asking the questions in character.
That's fair.
Something.
There you go. There's the smart person.
Also 17.
Lucky. No, I'm just kidding.
There's the lucky person.
You called
Yes.
Jeremy lucky.
I am
want
so
you to, I want you to
historically
reconsider that.
lucky with my
I
dice
didn't
rolling.
say it was usually good lucky. I just says he has a strong amount of luck.
I mean, you did get a 17 on a +1, so.
I do have a strong amount of luck. It's just that it's not good.
I feel bad for the rest of your rolls for the rest of the session.
Right.
Most of you're sort of puzzling over, thinking about what this might mean, or if this was something that Ternellian could always do. Gent, you're thinking a little bit less direct. As a denizen of Taram, you're oddly, now that you think about it, you're not very familiar with what portfolios the God Emperor would have had. You assume like sort of law and order and like an orderly deity, but you don't actually know like. For
Does
instance,
Kent know in character that he was basically made up of all the remnants of the gods that survived the last cycle?
I don't know. I don't remember if y'all have gotten into that information.
Okay, never mind that.
In character. But like you're sort of thinking about it, and you actually don't know like what, for instance, what like domain or order a cleric
right if he had
the God Emperor would have. You know he had clerics, but you're not really sure like what their like their portfolio was. As for Vespia and Sin, you're neither one of you are particularly familiar with the God Emperor himself, but you're sort of thinking about the information that you have had that you have had sort of like given to you about this Soul Herald. If it's a thing that's meant to reap gods and like things that don't die easily, how did you beat it? That's sort of the question that sort of immediately jumps to your brain.
I mean, there are a couple options for that. A, we didn't beat it as much as we were allowed to. B, whatever power it has against gods it does not have against mortals. That's all I got. I've got two options.
C, it was operating outside its designed parameters and therefore was not its full capacity or potentially extra vulnerable to in ways it would not otherwise have been.
D,
if it
was
weren't
just otherwise
freelancing.
Is there any chance we were supposed to beat it just on account of that it would leave all these little bits behind?
I mean, the only one that it left behind is the one that Titania grabbed.
Yeah, all the rest
did you grab a piece?
fell in the water and dissolved.
E, its reputation is bullshit.
I like that one's my favorite.
But yes, Titania does have like a fist-sized chunk of obsidian in her hand.
So we may have done enough damage to it to at least momentarily break whatever control Ternellian had over it.
Yeah.
Perhaps destroying the corporeal form returned it to Degas' control.
Also, I'm not incredibly familiar with this whole thing, but typically speaking, as far as my understanding goes, when you kill an extra dimensional creature away from its home dimension, it usually just gets shunted back. So, assumedly, it's just gone back to the realms of death and thus probably back to Degas' control.
Well, let's not get hyper optimistic. It could also have gone back to its home dimension and is now just looking for a way back to us.
F. That wasn't what we just. That wasn't what we thought it was.
I cast Dispel Magic.
On what?
On the chunk of obsidian. In case it's...
You cast Dispel Magic, and the magic dies.
It dies?
Yeah. You feel the ether devoured by the stone.
Right. Okay.
Like it was in a plane with a big bopper.
That
What was...
just... I poke at it with a cantrip. Does it do the same thing? It doesn't feel like it's It doesn't feel like it's draining. Like, 'cause
No,
we've
it's not.
had
It's
several
not. It's
experiences
no. It
with-
doesn't feel like it's draining. It feels like it's
Okay.
eating.
What's going on over there, love?
It eats magic. It's not like
Visor.
Yeah.
Yep. It walks over as well.
Sin just
Put that thing back where it came from, and still help me.
We're gonna investigate the shit out of this thing.
You look at it. You look at it with your visors.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a rock.
Okay. Flip to the
It's a
ethereal
rock.
plane.
It's not a rock, it's a boulder.
It seems like a rock.
It's a large rock the size of a small rock.
It's Darwin the Rock Johnson.
The goggles don't seem to show anything in particular. You can make an investigation check if you like.
Okay.
You do not get advantage from the goggles on this if they would give it to
Okay.
you.
a thought.
Interesting.
If it is
21 still.
Jeremy?
if it is if it is eating magic, it's very likely it will not be able to be detected in any sort of magical way.
oh,
Its properties.
true.
Because you're still using magic to do it, and it will eat that magic.
Somebody cast find object on the rock.
Again, yeah, you're sort of investigating it. As far as everything you can look at it, it seems like a particularly tough piece of obsidian.
Okay.
I would like. What the fuck? Why not?
Darling, I would like to do some tests on this if at all possible.
I will sit down and scry on the rock.
Okay.
You
Takes
see
me
him,
10
he's
minutes,
doing a
but-
cheat day.
You see a large islander eating stacks of pancakes. No.
Oh,
I
cheat
do have
day.
a quick question because I still have my Reaper Spirit, that whole effect up. Is that interacting with this at all in any different way, or?
It doesn't. No, the Reaper Spirit doesn't seem to be affected by it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest. I thought you said the Rock was doing a cheek day, and my mind just kind of drifted off.
Well, now my mind
I
is
mean-
drifted
I mean,
off.
I often
I'm gonna need a,
I often think about the Rock's cheeks, but
then I'm gonna need a minute.
And
look,
one,
he wears
and two.
spandex. Come on.
He wears the anyway.
Anyway,
Where's far less than that in some things.
that's true. So
It's about drive, it's about power.
we stay hungry, we devour.
Stop.
Speaking of devouring, you just cast Scry on the obsidian stone. And yeah, the ether is just devoured by the stone.
God.
I don't think we're going to be able to use any kind of magical item, any sort of anything, to determine any kind of qualities from this.
Good thing that most of my investigations don't require that.
This also potentially means, I mean, if we are going to make the assumption on the nature of divinity that they're inherently magical entities, obscenely powerful, but still inherently magical, the gods probably cannot detect such things and may not have any sort of defenses against such things. Therefore, it could be potentially crafted into weapons, etc., etc.
I mean, it is literally made from a fragment of a creature designed to hurry dead gods to the afterlife. It could
Yes.
theoretically
True.
be a weapon that is lethal to divinity.
And cannot be detected, defended against anything. This is all highly theoretical, of course.
Could Ithram have helped Gent with his investigation with his alchemical knowledge as well?
Go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Well, I just meant like.
Oh, they
giving
would give Gent an advantage? Yeah,
Yeah,
you could have done
because
that.
yeah.
Gent, roll a second one.
Oh,
If you
okay.
get higher.
my knowledge of mundane sciences
Nope.
is okay.
Yeah. 21.
Not
Like,
as well.
with 21, yeah, it's a fairly dense chunk of obsidian. There's not much you can really gather out of it at this moment with just the sort of the cursory investigation that you're doing right now. If you spend some
Right, yeah,
time investigating it, you can probably learn some more stuff about it. But it is at roughly this point as you're all sort of pondering the stone, and as Titania, yeah, you are realizing that your Reaper spirit doesn't seem to be at all affected by it, not in the same way that your magic was. Lavinda calls from over from back from the helm. All right, grab onto something again. And you all do realize that like the wind's been whipping through your hair at an increased speed, and you sort of look up from what you've been sort of obsessing over the stone for the past 10 minutes, and realize that the water is approaching very quickly.
Okay. Hang on.
Yep.
You don't have to make you don't have to make a save this time because you're prepared for it, and it's not going to be as hard of a hit. But you all sort of grab and brace as the ship splashes back down. It jostles you. Anyone, and I'm going to let y'all decide this. Anyone who might be prone to getting motion sick or seasick, make me a Constitution save.
Hmm. 17.
No, I wasn't.
What's my
motion
con?
before.
I was
believe
gonna
it's
say,
not
like, oh,
great.
probably Scuzz, but no, Scuzz is a fucking steel trap. Scuzz
Right, yeah.
has a stomach of steel.
Right.
Yep. And Gent is a climber and jumper off of things. I don't think he's going to be bothered.
It throws
No, I'm gonna do it just because I have bad luck on con saves. I feel like I need to.
He can count all the times he's been on a ship on one hand.
There you go. There you go, Titania.
Cool, this
Yeah,
is great. This is fun.
Titania, you're normally very resilient to motion sickness, but it's the differing combinations of motion sickness of different combinations of motion happening in rapid succession that just sort of hit you and like
Great. Cool.
you all watch as Titania vomits, and
Again.
the Reaper spirit like almost looks like it's mimicking her motions because it's bound to, so the Reaper spirit looks like it's vomiting too, but it also kind of looks like it's patting Titania on the shoulder.
That's actually sort of sweet.
Pulling her hair back.
Oh boy.
You watch as a pair of crabs, one with a bucket balanced on its head, one with a mop in its pincers, comes and starts cleaning up the mess.
Right.
You all right, love?
I'll be okay. Probably.
As the ship sort of slows to a much more reasonable pace, you all hear the of the wings folding back in and locking in place, and Lavenda calling from the back. So those are the inverted waterfalls.
Gent's going to look over his shoulder and see if the one that flung us up in the air is still there doing
It is.
its thing.
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
look back and you see that there is just a massive wall of water rising into the air, and the only way you could describe it visually was a waterfall that's been flipped upside down.
Yep.
I mean,
At what speed was that water wall coming up? Anyway, here's water wall. Sorry.
Damn
I'm
it,
so
you beat
sorry.
me to
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Fast enough to
God
launch.
damn it!
Fast enough to launch a three-masted galleon into the air at high speeds.
That's important. That's important. It's because we'll just raise his hand and be like, "Excuse me, are you sure that's just not a geyser?"
Yes, geysers are more of a spike, less of a wall.
It had thrust behind it.
Well, yeah, that's because gravity inverted.
I'm not smart enough to debate this.
One would assume, Skuz, that it behaves similarly to the other fluid dynamics of any other waterfall, just falling upwards rather than downwards. So it's
But
going
here's
to
the
eventually
thing,
reach
the
terminal velocity.
Water falling is not fast enough to push a boat up, whereas a geyser has the thrust to do that.
Are you really trying to
So-
argue fluid dynamics in a realm of the ocean that literally spontaneously generates inverted waterfalls?
Again, I'm not smart enough to do this, but
Well,
Because
I mean, we are on
magic.
board. We are on board the ship, right?
Facts.
So
Magic.
when else is a better time to debate semantics?
You
I
to
swear to God.
Pa, you to the brig now.
Oh, Captain Cookie.
The second hammer on the pistol clicks.
How many more of those do we get?
Well, dad jokes, they come along about every 5 minutes.
As far as inverted waterfalls, as many as the ocean decides to throw at us, I presume.
This particular section of the Shattered Lands, yeah, they come at. They don't typically pop up near each other, and they don't typically pop up in quick succession. But there's no telling how many more you might see on a voyage. You just got to keep an eye out for particularly odd water stirring, which it would have been, but dragon. So
That's fair. At least it's not like a water spout with like sharks in it.
there are those two.
Yeah, I'm just saying it wasn't that.
Yeah.
We have to get we have to keep an eye out for that too.
Yeah, no, you got to keep an eye out for Sharknadoes too.
Making sure
I'm sorry. What did you
and
say?
Vivica A. Fox as well.
And like the water tornadoes, but on the water, and so there's sharks caught up in them, and they like to eat things. It's really weird.
We're not dealing with that right now. We're dealing with this. What's happening right now?
Look, I'm sure there's a
need to
couple
move on
I'm
from
sure there's a
this.
couple chainsaws on this boat. We'll be fine. And Nikki's dead. Okay.
Anyway, we're going to need to patch the engines up a bit. They're not meant for emergency takeoffs like that. So we're going to be running a little bit slower for the next little while. So take your breather, stretch your legs, do whatever you need to do.
Do you need any assistance with the engines? Or
I'm pretty certain Maria's got it, but you can go volunteer if you like.
maybe I'll check in and see.
Oh
Just in
my
case.
god.
Yeah, are we actually going into a break or like?
I really appreciate that you use the exact same verbiage that you use for a break.
Yeah.
For...
I had like a Pavlovian response.
Right? It was really hard for me not to get up.
Yes, we are actually going to go ahead and go to a break. So those of you that are watching,
Fantastic.
I'm watching Holly fight with a child. Those of you that are watching live, please do these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. We'll be back
Flip
in
over
just
tile drive.
a few minutes. And we're back. A dinosaur
Call your
story.
local senator. Sorry.
Why?
I'm not
My
actually
local
sorry
senator's a
about
piece of shit.
that. Yes.
Call him a piece of shit on the phone.
They don't answer.
Break shit. It's Wrath Month, and everybody go break shit.
They don't answer the phone because they know I'm going to call him a piece of shit.
Tell the asshole who think that it's worth working for them that their boss is a piece of shit.
They just send it to the voicemail.
Then blow
Somebody
up
has
their
to
voicemail.
listen to those voicemails.
I come from a long line of people that ignore voicemails, Jeremy. Trust me. Anyways. So, the ship is currently undergoing emergency repairs, having been yeeted into the sky like a Coke can down a hallway.
It was a Fanta can.
Made by Coke.
It was orange, and there's distinction. Don't be racist, John. Sorry. I'm fighting right now. I need to stop.
Man.
I have so much aggression.
Feisty Nikki is one of my favorite Nickies. Not gonna lie.
I'm so
Look,
on board.
You can't be racist against oranges. We had a president and everything.
Well, I mean, Sin, don't you know that orange is the new black?
Oh,
Proud of you right now.
don't tell him that. He'll get rid of his bronzer.
So anyway, I
You're
think
telling
Gent
me
was
that
like,
Lays is
should I
gonna go
go
out of business
help
then
the
because he
mechanic
just rolls in
people?
Cheeto dust?
Anyways, the ship is currently being repaired. You have all sort of been trying to piece together what's going on with this Soul Herald that was being controlled by Ternalian. And Tanya has a rock.
It's a nice rock.
Way to go, Charlie Brown.
I got a rock.
So, what you doing?
Well, we have some theories. How do we go about proving them?
I don't really know that we can right now. It's going to take further investigation and probably smithing.
I would
And yes,
suggest- Oh, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead, Ethan.
I was saying I would suggest we could use one of either my mansion or the archivist mansion for alchemy supplies, but seeing as how this this material feasts on magical energies, I don't know how sustainable that type of environment might be. So I think we could try, but we may be at the disposal of whatever materials and supplies you have on you at hand for further investigation.
Valid, I suppose. Yeah. My initial plan was simply to give it a basic materials and scientific investigation, see what we can make of its physical properties, and then continue exposing it to various other energies and whatnot, and see if there are any limitations to its ether devouring capabilities. And once we've gotten a decent conceptual model of what it can do, see if we can make it into something useful.
I think the key would be if we can find some sort of divine servant or otherwise purveyor of divine magic. That would be an important step.
Besides my wife?
I don't know what this is. We know there's a priest of Dagoth somewhere out in this area, right?
That is true. I'd entirely forgotten.
Something more direct like that is
was
what I
on
was
the
saying.
boat.
You watch Halamarnia walk past.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's a cleric, but I don't think she's a cleric of Dagoth. That was the
No. Any because
Yeah.
Specifically divine magic, that's if we're using it against a god.
I have some divination magic. I can ask a question about things we might do.
Actually,
That's
fair
not-
point. Can't you commune with spirits of Dagoth to ask those specific questions?
Yeah, I
Who would
have
Definitely be knowledgeable about that sort of thing.
mechanically I have a divination spell, which is it lets me ask a single question. It has to be like a specific goal, like event or activity, but if I can use it to like just ask general, that'd be
And
useful.
ask, can we use this material as a weapon to kill divine things like Ternalian?
Yeah. And it's
Is this
not
our
a
god killing
spell-
sword?
It's not a
I
spell.
mean, it's a fist-sized chunk of obsidian. It's not enough to make a sword.
You can make a dagger.
Dagger.
A dagger.
Soccer would
Some brass
disagree.
obsidian god killing knuckles.
Yeah.
Bullets.
Just punch the god
I
to
mean,
death.
you know that's where Gent's mind was going. Yeah.
Rumman's head like spins around like an owl.
Oh boy.
Bullets are difficult to reuse.
And it's not a spell.
They also
on
take
the
less
rock,
material,
so
though.
it should be. It should
There's
work.
potential that we could utilize this material, possibly, under the right circumstances, to infuse with the soul coins. Whenever we acquire more of those, I'd like to go into a confrontation with my uncle-in-law with more than 2 shots in the chamber.
And I'm not taking away from the possibility if you want to have them to fire, of course, but I'm not going to lie. I do like the sound of those god-killing dusters. It's sort of...
It's a really cool idea. Sorry, real quick. Soul coins?
Yes.
Yes.
Soul coins can be manufactured into...
Not the kind that you have, Scuzz. We've already talked about this.
Okay. I forgot.
No,
You just see
it's fine.
Vespia roll her eyes at the mention of soul points.
They can at least make him a bit more mortal. They're unlikely to, unfortunately, do the entire job themselves, but based on my
Weakening.
research and with Vespia's knowledge, seems that there are options that could level the playing field with them at least. Somewhat.
Weakening is
A
good.
little.
And any opportunity to give us an advantage.
You're not that
we
little,
could take it.
Vespia.
I said a little.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have misheard.
He's
Well,
got
any-
salt water in his ears.
He's about to.
Look, it's just the Hades gambit. You make him mortal.
Make him mortal. And he kill him.
This is all hypothetical until we find out more.
Yes.
So-
And in the meantime, I think the ritual and the Fiend Hunter's Grave are really our priorities at the moment.
So same heading then.
Once they have it fixed up, should I go check and see if they need a hand, do you think? Or...
Don't say need a hand. I'm still traumatized.
Sorry,
I'm just
didn't mean
I'm just
to-
joking. I don't give a shit. Go help them out.
At that point, you sort of feel a jerk, and the ship begins to move.
Or maybe they're fine.
Repairs all done. You hear just sort of like
I was
call
going to say,
throughout
moving the right
crew.
direction?
Yeah.
Or is it like moving
you-
down?
There's just a series of shouts where, like, clarifying that the repairs are done as the ship begins to move.
They're
Lavinda,
a well-oiled machine.
Lavinda and Halamarnia and Zermia, who have all been sort of up on the wheel well area, just sort of shout back affirmations and begin to navigate and steer the ship again.
Thank you, 15. So,
Thank you, repaired.
thank you, repairs.
Lavinda shouts out from over the wheel. All right, we're going to be making for a port. Should make it there in about a half day from here. Let us do a more thorough check on the ship to make sure nothing's broken that we haven't seen. Also, good place to pick up some supplies, and if you're looking for a priest, not a bad place to start looking.
Excellent.
Whatever you just said.
did not come through, Mara.
Oh, Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna go meditate.
All right.
I'll leave the rock behind. I don't need the rock to do that. But
If you drop the rock, Gent's taking it.
I think I have put it in the middle of all of you by this point. It feels
Also,
like.
What do you mean you don't need the rock? Everyone needs the rock at all times.
Have you not? Anyway.
The rock for president.
Summon rocks.
I think he's like, no.
There's too many memes going on in my head at once. I can only focus on one at a time.
Look, just because somebody's
saying,
a positive presence on social media does not mean they are qualified to hold public office.
We've seen. Look, I'm just saying, if we want another governor, I'm not against it. But
It can't get worse.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
Boy.
seriously.
I can't believe you.
All right,
Boy.
I need to borrow 25 gold from
My
someone.
my hope is that if I say it can't get worse enough, eventually it'll just collapse in on itself.
Are you an accelerationist? Fuck you.
I am
If
an
you say it
arsonist, so
The problem is if you say it enough, the world will collapse in on itself, not the notion.
Grumman is counting out 25 gold from his fairly small gold purse.
I have 500, but I'm saving it for resurrecting you all, etc.
I have
Let
32.
Vespia know if you need more.
You can have 25 of them.
Thank you. And I'll
Craig
put
living
that in the-
Craig living that monk vow of poverty life.
I'll put it
And that
in
granddad life. I'm a pensioner, damn it.
Ithram is wondering why he didn't just count out 7 and give her the rest rather than counting out the whole 25.
My int is 8.
1, 2, 3, 4. Meanwhile, Lavinda's in the background going, just.
Ithram's
Put it
just
in the
gonna
pouch and pull
science
out
bro
incense.
with
Next week, 3 hours while Grumman calculates the tip.
Let's see. All right, Ithram, you had the steak. Now, I only had.
All right.
Gen's going to investigate this rock.
Go ahead and give me
In
how would you like to do an in-depth investigation of the rock?
All right, so he's going to break out his tinker tools. He's going to first see if it's able to be materially altered. Can he chip off a piece? Can he drill a small hole in it? That sort of thing. Once those sort of things are determined by what he can do with mundane tools, he's going to try and utilize his rescription ability, see if he can inscribe a spell onto this thing, like he was going to use it as a projectile weapon. Throw it at something, kind of thing.
You can break pieces off of it. You find
Okay.
that when you break pieces off of it, they're significantly more brittle than they were as a whole.
Okay.
You find that you can drill a hole into it. Similarly, the area around the hole becomes more brittle once the drill goes through it than when it was solid.
All right.
And you can inscribe on it, but when you try to inscribe a spell, the ether gets devoured by the stone.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, but he's basically just trying to do as much of a materials analysis of this thing as he can and see if it has any usable kind of concept, or is it just good when it's all in one piece kind of thing.
So yeah, what you sort of get is like it becomes when you sort of break it apart off when small bits of it separate from the whole are significantly weaker than the coalesced stone. But you can't, like, if you break it off in large enough chunks, you can probably keep it pretty durable. What you're getting is that an edged weapon probably wouldn't keep an edge for long, if at all.
Right.
So you probably don't want to put it particularly thin. You probably don't want it probably would not make very good bullets, because the amount that you would have in bullet form would be too fragmentable. It would shatter on impact and wouldn't penetrate.
Right. So is he thinking more
or shatter on the black powder charge?
Yeah, like the black powder charge would be more like shot. It would be more like a very small amount of shot instead of a
Shotgun shells, then.
Small amount of
Cannonball.
shot, not
Or a shot put.
Use enough.
and
what you're saying is either a mace.
I was gonna say core of a
or-
mace head or something
Or
like that,
again,
maybe.
some
It's-
knuckles.
Yeah, it's like
Knuckles
it's,
would be too thin.
there's not enough of it really to make a mace head.
Mhm.
Because by the time you shape it, it would be too small. It would be like
Okay.
it could be like the head of a club, something like that.
Okay. Alright.
Or yeah, honestly, Knuckles turning it into like a bar and like plating that onto something might be something you could do.
Okay.
These fists were made for killing gods, and that's just what they do. So,
Alternatively, you could turn it into like a cannonball. It's like there's enough of it there that you could have like a small cannonball. You could just based on the size of it, you could turn it into a dagger, but again, edged weapons not going to be as
Right.
effective.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few different things you could do with it, but not doesn't seem like anything that would end up with it being either used as a projectile or used as a blade.
Okay. He'll stash that for the meantime then.
Make it into a light hammer.
Titania, you are meditating using what spell? Or just meditating in general?
Divination. I can put it in chat here.
Divination.
Divination.
What school of magic is divination, I wonder?
Divination.
Divination.
It's true.
I need incense and a sacrificial offering.
Time to. So what are you sacrificing?
So. Well,
Who are you sacrificing?
I was gonna say scuzz.
I looked down for 1 second. What? Yes. What? Yes. Hi.
Yeah, there was a joke about needing a sacrifice.
My body
I-
is ready.
I feel like an offering of literally an offering of bone meal or like bone marrow would be good for like Dagoth's religion.
You could take one of my hands again. I think we could just go back. It's fine.
Because it's an incense and a sacrificial offering appropriate to your religion, together worth at least 25 GP.
Yep. Yeah. I think if she's got like bones lying around, what do I have in the bag of holding? Never mind, I didn't have a bag of holding anymore.
What do you have in the bag of? Oh.
Yeah, it sort of exploded. I had various bits of goo in there at a certain point. I don't think
sure
they're there
did.
anymore.
How do you have divination?
Huh?
How do you have divination?
I have divination as one of my spells. It is an additional druid spell.
It is.
It's in the optional additional druid spells.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the expanded spell list.
Yeah, I get some cleric spells.
Yep, it's there.
Okay.
Unique
No,
bones,
that's
you probably had to
yeah,
pick
because it
out.
wasn't original, but it's not showing up on my list, and typically the expanded spells show up. Hang on.
On my
Is
Yeah,
it
no,
a
no, I
pa-
see it,
Is
I see it,
Is
yeah.
it a Grim Harvest specific?
No, it's
No.
in the.
Or-
It's one of the Tasha's additional.
Oh,
druid spells.
Tasha's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know why it's not showing up on my list, but yeah, you're good. Divination.
I ritually cast it.
So yeah, appropriate to origin. So if you're trying to talk to a spirit of Dagoth, you could anything related to death, but that also includes anything emblematic of death. It doesn't have to necessarily be like bones or bone meal. It can. Dagoth himself is sort of emblematic of death. His design, like he looks like an old man at the end of his life, like. And
Hey.
also has stag antlers, which are almost worldwide. Sort of stags are considered to be like sort of a signifier of great change, which is also a symbol of death. So like it doesn't have to necessarily be, strictly speaking, something that has died.
Okay, cool. Grumman, you have some gray hair, right?
I've got a great deal of it. What do you? Ow!
Thanks.
Just what bit of a warning next time?
And I'm
Wait a
gonna-
minute. Are you saying I'm emblematic of death?
It's a symbol of.
We've got cans full of bones down in the galley.
I mean, it's the
I have
coffin
little
pit.
ghosts in
Oh,
my
that's great
bracelet.
too. Thank you. Good reminder. I go and grab some kitchen stuff, just kitchen scraps.
Okay.
and then I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna use Druidcraft to do like some sort of like plant thing that is has a very short life cycle, basically.
Okay.
Scuzz will offer you his last not his last one. Second to last one of one of his like little soul trinkets. If that it has a soul trapped in it. A dead person is trapped inside this coin. Would that help you?
Yeah. I
Work on my will.
might be a good idea.
I've got some letters to write.
Could you work on your will in silence, Da?
He
Yeah, I'll
sort of
take-
looks up at Lavenda and ostentatiously like crosses out something that he's writing, making contact with Lavenda.
I have two.
You know
I
I've
have
got
two.
you know I've got more money in investments than you do, Pa.
I know. I'm so proud of you. I can't even pretend that I'm not.
Gotta be honest, Scuzz, I'm slightly concerned about the idea of having a soul trapped. I don't know. I mean, we did that with the Lant, though, so maybe never mind.
That was a
If
very
you're
quick
uncomfy
working
about
through.
it, you can absolutely say no. That's your choice. But it's definitely not their choice that they're trapped in here because I've made the choice for them. They were bad people. They sucked.
Yeah.
And they're going to help me in their afterlife. And then when they're gone, they're gone. But I have two. Because I know that's like a thing in some religions where you have the 2 coins and you place them on the eyes. Maybe having the 2 coins with dead.
Ooh, yeah, I won't use. I don't know how you use these things, but I'll just use the coins. It's like that. That's a good idea. Thank you.
So if you use both coins, it might make it work more because the soul inside will want to help to be released from the coin. I don't know. Sometimes the souls really want to help so that they can be released from the coin. So like maybe helping out in this ritual will...
I also would like to help. I also would probably be willing to help if it would release me from eternal suffering.
Not suffering, just more like you're stuck in like a stasis.
Like I said.
But also, do we want to go into the politics of trapping a soul inside of a coin? Do we want to talk about
capitalism? Anyways,
I'll
take the Scuzz's offered coins, and
he will give you 2. Those are the last 2 that he has. And if the souls are used in those coins, I will mark those off on my character sheet, and he will have no more soul trinkets until he snatches up another soul later.
Is one of those the ones that has your friend in it?
No, I have already. She has already helped us. So she has gone to the great beyond.
I didn't know that. Are you all right? I know that was something.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, trust me. If I trapped all the souls of my friends, which I wouldn't want to do because some people are not cool with that, but if I trapped all the souls of my friends to adorn my person, I would have chainmail at this point. But I don't. So here you go. He hands the 2 coins to Titania.
Well, it's good to have friends.
It's very reassuring that most of them seem to die.
I like the idea.
I'm remembering all the past lives that I had and all the friends that I used to have, but they're probably all dead now. So, that's a whole thing that we don't have to talk about right now.
I like the idea that Scuzz runs out of souls, and then the next episode or 2, the ship just turns into the last voyage of the Demeanor.
Actually, so no. Thankfully, if Scuzz uses up all of his soul tokens, or soul trinkets, excuse me, after he finishes a long rest, one will just appear in his hand of like a wandering soul that is just like, this is a person that I can help them before I go to my great beyond. Like,
oh, okay, that's a cute way to describe the fact that Scuzz is clearly murdering people in his sleep.
I think of it less as that is more like, literally like a soul's passing by.
Sort of like
someone's like a soul's passing by, and the soul literally like just sees the goblin and is like, "Oh, that one. I can
like
help
to-
that one
it's-
right
you're-
before I go.
you're
I'll
on
go
the-
to
you're on-
Sure that's what Spence tells him. So.
You're on the ocean. It's just a bunch of fish souls at this point. It's like-
Well, it's just soul.
Anyways, Titania.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare this ritual?
I think I'm gonna like gather all that stuff together and kind of do kind of the circle that she's done before and just put it in the middle and start decaying everything.
Mhm.
Um
So there's just this sickly sweet smell of rot for a little bit as you sacrifice the bits and bobs in front of you. The tokens aren't affected by the decay because they are tokens. But as you sort of focus and sit and as you take your few seconds of weaving the magic to create this pathway, you watch as these two tokens crack and splinter and shatter. So Skuz, both of your tokens are spent.
sorry.
And there's just this. It looks almost like the shattering sparks, and it looks almost like it's about to like light the sort of like this small amount of decay that you've got on fire, but it sort of whiffs, and there's just like a small poof of smoke that sort of hangs around, almost like a fire that's failed to start. And you sit there for a moment, and it feels almost like you failed. It feels like the sacrifice wasn't good enough, or the ritual wasn't strong enough, and you just watch as a stick comes in from just beyond your perspective and sort of nudges the pile, almost like somebody who's like sort of putting a torch to kindling. And as the stick sort of touches it, there's this blue ethereal flame that ripples up from the offering. And the stick retreats back out from your line of sight, and you sort of follow it. And sitting next to you on a fallen log, as you realize you're not on a ship anymore, you're in sort of like a smoky moor. There is an old, withered man. He doesn't actually look like the face isn't a skull like is commonly depicted. It's just the withered face of an old man with bits of dried blood sort of just dripping down from two massive antlered horns coming out from the temples. This ancient, wizened figure with a gnarled cane that it was using to sort of stoke the fire. Well, so you call on me for my wisdom,
Hi, Dagoth.
Titania.
Sorry, I think we might have killed one of your servants.
You cannot kill my servants. Destroy their body? Yes, I saw. But kill? No.
I have no idea how he got control of them.
Nor do I. It is a frustrating blind spot. I cannot
But,
help but feel somewhat frustrated that the well-meaning and well-intentioned veil separating us prevents my seeing his machinations. But you've questions.
Yeah, I get one question, and it's that rock that got left behind. It seems to be to eat ether. Anything we throw at it, and we're wondering if it can be made into a weapon.
In order to devour beings of legendary might, one's body must be primed to accept the blows they will rain down upon you. Thus, my heralds, not only do they bring the death of the being, but they bring the death of their power. The fragment of a body that you rescued will not be the death of a god, but it can be fashioned to be the death of their power, if used wisely.
That's really useful.
And in the hands of my servants, its true form awakens.
Oh.
And as you say, oh, you realize you're back where you had sat down, and he's gone.
What did it look like for the rest of us, if we could see it?
It just looked like Titania was sort of sitting there, staring at a bit of garbage on the ground. And then she just goes, oh.
Which... Oh, okay. So, yeah. Apparently, he didn't know that was gonna happen to his servant either. There's like a veil separating him from seeing kind of stuff on this side all the time.
Seems concerned.
It can be made into a weapon that
All right.
won't kill a god, but it'll kill his power, potentially. And it gets stronger if it's used by one of Dagoth's servants.
Is that...
Or
does that-
followers was the exact phrase? Yeah.
No, servants was the exact word.
Okay.
So is that you? Are you a servant of Dagoth?
I mean, I'm trying to.
What about
So-
your shadow there?
Yeah. It's a Reaper spirit.
Can it hold things?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I've sent it away yet. I don't think I said that.
Nope.
And it hasn't been long enough. Is it 10 minutes or is it an hour on that?
I mean,
I don't remember.
it's the same length as the wild shape, so it's an hour, I think.
You're half your druid level in
Yeah.
hours.
Oh shit! So it's fucking all day.
No, it's 1 hour.
Okay, it's 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
But it hasn't been an hour yet. So I will try and hand the rock to it.
Sen had
done
to step away.
The experiment. Get.
As far as what I've discovered about the item itself?
Yeah. I want to see something.
All right, yes, of course. Hands it over.
Lift hand rock to Reaper. See if it can hold it.
And when Sen gets back,
Oh,
I guess
no,
we'll
it's-
find out.
Okay. I just noticed.
There was an emergency.
Right now we're having
Or something.
Schrodinger's rock moment. It's the rock in the box. Or is it
All right,
not
sorry,
there?
I'm back.
You
All right.
good?
Repeat
And the
whatever it
rock.
is that you're doing.
Yeah, I hand the rock to the Reaper Spirit to
Alright.
see if it can hold it.
Yep.
So you sort of like you move the hand over, and it's a bit awkward because it's like you have to hold one hand up to a certain area so
This
you can
is
hand
what you
it
do
to the
with
other
like a
hand.
shadow. You hold one and then you
Yeah,
like
yeah. So you have to. But you drop the rock into the hand of your Reaper, and it, without your hand doing it, catches it.
Ooh, that seemed like something good. Or maybe terrible. I'm not really sure, but something happened.
And then, completely independent of you, it floats backwards, holds up its other hand, and the large black scythe manifests.
Okay.
And it holds the two things to get close to each other in front of you, Titania.
Okay.
And you realize that its scythe and this rock are made of the same material.
Oh.
Is this the one that you have to? Wasn't there going to be a fight and you and? Is something happening right now?
And then it puts the material back in your hand.
Yep.
And resumes shadowing you.
Yep. Not yet, but
All right. Well,
okay. That might answer some things. Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure I followed that at all. So it's made of the same sort of thing as the weapon that it's already got.
Yes.
So you wouldn't need it then, right? Or could you use it to sort of give it the old 1-2, double up on it?
You don't use your Reaper's scythe. You use your scythe.
Mm-hmm.
So you've never it doesn't seem like your Reaper can hit things with its scythe while it's shadowing you.
No. But potentially, if I'm understanding correctly, is this the thing that I'm gonna have to fight my Reaper?
No.
No? Okay, that's something else. Okay.
It was showing you the true nature of the material, which is to say it is the material of a Reaper's scythe.
Okay. We don't have enough to make a scythe.
No, but we couldn't we sort of could we Gent is there, right?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I mean, I guess I have Tinker's tools and stuff. Can I tell on my own if having watched the experiments, do we think we could use it to coat the scythe, or it's too brittle once you start to break it down?
Give me a... What sort of tools proficiencies do you have, Craig? Or Grummond?
Brewer's supplies, cook's utensils, mason's tools, tinker's tools, smithing tools.
Give me either a smithing tools check with your intelligence.
Oh, okay. That's just I'm just gonna make an int save. Is that okay?
Well, if you're proficient in your smithing tools, then it's actually higher than an int save, isn't it? Because you had your proficiency.
In all saving throws.
It'd be
He's proficient in all saving throws because of the monk.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair. Yeah.
It's just a +5. Natural fucking 20.
Hey, look at that!
So, no, you don't think you could edge a weapon in this.
I've been working on it.
But you do think you could probably set this as like the centerpiece of a shield. You could probably set this as the centerpiece of a shield, or turn it into a protective amulet of some kind. You're not certain what it would do as an amulet, but as a shield, it would very probably do something when put between you and a harmful spell. You also think that you could probably fashion it into knuckles of some kind, or maybe even like sort of a half gauntlet. Depending on how you layered the plates, you could probably turn it into like some sort of reinforcement for existing armor, or reinforcement for any sort of existing item. But as you're sort of looking back and forth, you're thinking real hard about what you can do with this stone, and you realize that the Reaper was showing you its scythe and the stone.
Mm-hmm.
And while Titania might not have to fight her Reaper spirit, this might give you an idea as to what a Reaper's scythe might do or look like.
Right. So I will pass all of that along, and then also say, so, I mean, we could certainly turn it into those sorts of things if we want protection. I'm not sure, could you use it as a focus for your arts as you cast things, and it's got to be a servant of Dagoth. Maybe it could be you, and you could cast your spells through it. But also, I mean, maybe we could all focus in on this and learn a bit more about what we're going to be up against, or at least what Titania, what you're going to be up against when you go to scrap with your fight, or if any more of those things come after us, we could all use it.
True. My scythe is already my focus.
Right.
I don't. It's magical already. I don't know. I'm not a craftsman. I don't know how to add things to it.
No, but I mean, we could certainly try that. We could set it into the blade or something of that sort. Not sure what effect that would, unless I do. Do I know what effect that would have if we set it almost like an ornament into the side blade?
Yeah, just step away again.
No.
I have a spare shield, if at least you can use my old shield, or that is already enchanted, or
I need to use two hands with the scythe. It's a two-handed weapon, I think.
the shield that I have is already permanently enchanted with. It becomes immovable, so you could theoretically set it out and leave it wherever and just keep it between you, and everybody in this party is able to move it freely.
What was the question, by the way, Grumman?
Except, I'll come back to that in just a second because I want to respond to what Ithram was just saying. Grumman says, "Hey, but if this thing eats magic, if we were to put it onto an enchanted item, I'm not sure how that would affect the existing enchantments."
That is also true.
Do I have a sense of that?
No, you haven't that's going to require more experimentation. You haven't done a lot of experimentation with what magic does to what magic does to it or what it does to magic yet. You did see that it didn't eat the Reaper, but that might just be because the Reaper is of the same kind of stuff.
Is a simple test we can do right now, and I'll pop the shield out, put it out in front, back up, and it's still sitting there. Simple touch to it seems to be enough to drain most magic.
You touch the stone to the shield, Mara?
Yep.
Touch the stone to the shield. There's a and the shield cling, 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 cling hits the ground.
Right. So, none of that. And what about are there bucklers? There, like, statistically, there aren't really bucklers in 5e, right?
Not rules as writ, no, but
I do really like the idea of having something that lets me not get hit so much by very powerful spells.
And you can reinforce armor with it. And I don't know if it's come up yet, but Grim Harvest druids do not have the same bane against metal armaments that regular druids have.
Besides, this is a rock, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I wonder if we could put it onto a pair of bracers or something, just to have it at the ready.
Possibly.
Looks over at Gent, and could you fashion some sort of spell binding bracers?
I mean, as far as setting it into something, that would be potential. You would, of course, need to split the stone one to the other, and
make a pair of Wonder Woman bracers that you can just deflect spells with.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I've been a bit distracted. My more concern is that if Titania has to fight something whose weapon is made of the same material, she's going to be at a horrific disadvantage if it's able to utilize that to neutralize all of his spells.
Well, I wonder if simply holding it, does that neutralize spells? Can we try that out? I'm a bit hesitant to touch it myself because of what happened last time. Given that these are deadly weapons.
I'll hold the rock and like cast something not at the rock, but
Okay.
just like
Like what?
off the side or something. Just like a cantrip.
Okay,
Just
that goes
see if
off.
It works. It doesn't.
But what if someone tries to cast something on you? Because I'm thinking about Gent, unless I misunderstood your point, it was that if Titania's holding it, and or rather, if the spirit that Titania's fighting has a weapon made of this stuff, will all of Titania's spells fail against it?
Exactly.
So could it is who's nearby that can cast spells? Other than
Ithram.
Right.
Ithram and Vespia, yeah, both.
Yeah.
Ithram, Vespia, could one of you all do something, like just a tickle or something to just see if you could affect it? Titania, if you're all right with that, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, would we be able to scale down a cantrip so that we're not doing full damage, or is it full send every time?
You can't, if you try to scale down a cantrip, it just doesn't fire basically. Because they are rote practices of magic to the point where you can do them without thinking, which is why you don't have to prepare them or use spells.
Would we be doing this directly at Titania?
Yes.
That's a
That's
suggestion.
Okay.
We don't want to use.
Hold
Well,
person.
what?
It's the spell we use on
Yeah,
everyone all the
yes.
time.
We don't
difference.
wait. We don't want to use the low level shit. Because you're not going to have low level spells flung at you.
Right, but
Just through it.
And if it only works up to a certain level, that's not very effective, is it?
Little thin green bean. No, I'm just kidding.
all I'm saying is maybe we could start with something lighter. But I see your point. What
do you think?
Sin is in what form right now? I'm sorry.
I'm casting mental prison.
What form is Sin in?
The name's on the token, Morgan.
Morgan. All right.
Okay. What's the save on mental prison?
It is an intelligence save.
Make an intelligence saving throw,
Difficulty
Titania.
19.
Brilliant. All right, here we go.
Grumman. I mean, Morgan, I take your point, but maybe we should. Oh no!
What happens when mental prison is cast on someone?
So you are good news.
Good
Great.
news.
Oh, good
prison.
news. Good
To
news.
be
We
fair-
love good news, mental prison.
To be fair, are you immune to being charmed?
Yes.
Never mind. I would have known that
Elf.
because I would
Well,
have
you're not.
known
No,
that.
as an elf, you're not immune to it. You have advantage on it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
different. That's different. Never mind. We're good.
Okay.
So. All right.
Yeah, I can't be
Big
put to
fu-
sleep. That's it. Okay, let me try it again.
Yeah, you get advantage on the save.
That's a 25 that time.
Okay. No, that succeeds. So you just take the damage. You don't get imprisoned.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Wait.
5d10. So 25 psychic damage.
Ow.
But
25 psychic damage.
okay.
John, I sent you a whisper question.
Ow.
All right. So
Did
we
you?
know something. Sorry.
Did I just whisper that? Okay, let me send that
Actually, no.
again to proper.
He doesn't say sorry.
You must have sent it to someone else.
Yeah, I think I sent it to myself on accident.
Titania, are
Did
you
you
all
want to
right?
test the
Yeah,
efficacy?
I'm fine. Just nosebleed.
Yes.
That's true. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Valdeth will speak up. I don't think we have to worry much about casting spells on a Reaper if it's holding a scythe made of this material. Weapons and armor do different things. Properties, magical, everything. A scythe made of this material is more likely to cancel out any spells it strikes through than protect its wielder from magic.
Are you saying you can't parry a spell, love?
While I might be able to, that's not the purpose of the weapon.
Fair enough.
I like cut through like an enchantment or something.
Yes, if you were to cast, say, a defensive spell on yourself, I would expect the scythe to cleave through it,
That's good
rather
to know.
than protect the Reaper from spells cast on it.
Ah, so it would be a murder race.
Okay.
I'm glad we figured that out.
If we can make this into armor or bracers or like of defense or something like that, I would like that. I think in, the fight we're all working toward, Jernalian knows what I can do. He knows that I'm the group healer. I think he's probably gonna target me.
This will be a right nasty surprise for him then.
Ithram?
I had the thought as well. There is going to be most likely leftover material. If no, not now that he's thinking about it. If we could fashion a figurine out of this, I may be able to attempt to use a spell that I've recently learned to create the construct of this material and could use it as a protective bodyguard during the fight for you.
I suspect it would probably just consume that spell.
Yes, the more that I think about it.
Yeah.
But if you want
Alright,
if you want to give me this chunk of material, I can see about making a pair of bracers out of it.
I can give you a hand if you wouldn't be opposed.
You just
I can-
got the move.
I can certainly use assistance with it, aye.
Sure. I'll hand it over.
Because I have expertise in smith's tools.
Proper dwarven crafting for a wedding present.
All right. So in that case, if you're getting assistance from government, go ahead and give me a Go ahead and give me a Smith's Tools check with intelligence at advantage.
Okay. Theory, intelligence. 33 with natural 20.
Nat 20. Hey, yo.
Hey, baby.
Damn.
Got good rolls.
So you actually, with a natural 20, you actually sit and think for a few minutes as you're sort of looking at it and trying to figure out like the most efficient way to make this do what you want it to do. And you sort of hit upon an idea, and you sort of fish around in your bag for a minute, and you pull out your old gauntlets, actually the ones that you don't wear anymore, because they have lots of like embedded gems and like preset places that you can slot things into,
and just turn this into the set of gems around the gauntlet.
They basically aren't they weren't magical or anything. They're just valuable. So you and Grumman set about and sort of start prying out gems. Get some files and things and begin actually like rounding out the edges of this thing so that each you sort of break it into a few different pieces for both things, and then smooth the frayed edges so that even though it's brittle, it won't matter as much because it's a solid piece rather than an edge. And you sort of sink them into a few places, and basically, effectively, these what were previously your gauntlets now have, in place of the red gems that were sort of decorating it stylistically, they are just these obsidian stones sort of glued into the gauntlets.
So goth.
Yeah. So for reference, Valdeth, sort of after finishing it, presents these. They've been adjusted for Titania's arms because Valdeth has thicker forearms.
Yeah.
But they're these black metal gauntlets with gold trim at the upper end where it ends at the forearm, around the wrist, and on a metal plate on the back of the palm, which has a series of spikes, one for each of the main knuckles of your finger, of your hand, and a similar plate on the thumb. And then there's just a ring of what would have on her armor been crimson ruby gems around like the center of the forearm, and then at the top of the forearm, around the elbow, and then on each knuckle above the spikes. But each of those rubies has been replaced with this obsidian material. As she presents the adjusted pair of gauntlets to Tanya.
And it's good that you had to narrow them out, because at the width that they were previously, you wouldn't have had enough material.
Yeah.
That did not come through, Mara.
I love them. Thank you.
On the inside, if as long as Valdeth wouldn't object, I assume we've put like leather lining on the inside.
Yeah.
Etched into that in Dwarven, it just says, "You're going to do amazing."
And so
I can read that.
this was the royal armor of the warriors of my family. It's not like the head of state armor. This is literally the battle armor of my ancestry, and now it protects you.
I love it. Okay. How long do we have until we land and are on solid ground and I don't feel queasy anymore?
So, really quick, you don't have to attune to these because they eat magic, so you can't attune to them.
Excellent.
Sweet.
But these are effectively. I mean, Valdeth and Grumman can name them whatever they want because they made them, but they are effectively spell resistance gauntlets. So long as you are whoever wears these, so long as you're wearing them, you have advantage on saving throws against spells. And if you succeed a dexterity saving throw against a spell, rather than taking half damage, you take no damage. So it's advantage against all spells, and also you have evasion effectively.
What happens if you punch a wizard with these?
Nothing, because they are not a weapon.
They're defensive. They're defensive items. They don't like Valdez just explained. Defensive and offensive items have different properties.
Titania, I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but if you wanted to test punching a wizard and see what it does, I would write it down for scientific purposes.
Punch it through him.
Do it! Punch it through him! Do it! Punch it through
him. No.
Do it.
No.
He'd love it.
I really don't think he would.
Is that a Schadenfreude statement there, Morgan, or a scientific?
Hell, punch me. I don't.
That
care.
really
I'm
was what was going to be my follow-up question. Depending on
I'm
what
an
your answer
arcane
was.
caster. I just gave you an aneurysm.
No, I don't want to punch you.
No, they are.
I'm just really excited to see how this turns out.
Maybe not
Morgan
punch
wants
the
to start a
actual
fight,
wizard, but
is
maybe
really
like
what
punch.
Morgan wants
like,
to do. I think Morgan's pissed off that they didn't get to fight the dragon nearly as much, and
Also that.
Say
Yes.
it threw up a shield, and you punched the shield. What would happen? Would the
again,
shield go
defensive, offensive.
I'm just saying.
away? Waterfall geyser. Look, we can do this. It's all.
Right,
And
we're talking
to-
about two very different things. A waterfall
And
is not a
to-
geyser.
To provide you a name, these will be known as the Tyrian retort.
Nice.
I
Okay.
do
Just
like
saying.
that.
Okay,
I do
I
like
will
that
say-
very
Every
much.
single time I take an episode off for Gran Terra games, you guys fight some sort of weird variation on dragon that sounds really fucking cool. So,
love
maybe
the
throw one of
Tyrian-
those in an episode I'm in.
I love the Tyrian retort, and my brain immediately went the Tyrian comeback. I'm like, nope, Nope. Nope.
Because it's now named the Tyrion Retort, canonically, you have to backhand all spells you succeed the saving throw away from you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's how it works.
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Gotcha.
It's
Especially
the
if
somatic
it's a
component.
yeah, especially if it's a dexterity saving throw. It's just ping next. All right. So, with a pair of spell-resistant gauntlets, you have a little bit more preparation in your arsenal now, for the various fights to come. Some of you salty that you were below decks when you fought the big death dragon.
I was very buttery, actually. Thank you very much.
I mean, buttery can be
The
salty.
popcorn twins.
But the day passes with no further issue. Just before dawn, from the crow's nest, you hear Paula just at the top of her lungs crying land ho. You're not certain why, but it felt like there was a comma between the two words.
Same, bitch. Same. That's us, guys. That's Nikki.
It's just land ho. But anyways,
Who was she specifically you're addressing?
Probably the captain.
Can I make an insight check?
The answer is yes.
sure, make an insight
Who is
check.
she addressing? Yes.
Make an insight check.
Pretty judgy from up there.
17.
Based on the particularly gravelly voice that returns with "Gotcha, bitch." You pretty certain it was to Halamarnia.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
All
right.
Good
This,
friendships.
but the
Like watching the L word up in here.
any of you that then sort of either look out a porthole or come on deck, will see that just in the distance, sort of on what you expect to be the horizon. It's too dark really to make out the horizon specifically, but you do see the very obvious visible sort of like scattering dots of a village lit up at night. And occasionally just one slightly brighter flame that would seem to indicate some sort of lighthouse or signal fire that the ship seems to be directing towards.
Cool.
After a few more hours, the sun is beginning to rise, and with the rise of the sun, you get a bit of a better view of what's coming up here as you're getting closer to it. You see there is a small island. Like, you can see the far end of the island from this side of the island. That's how relatively small it is. And it seems like basically the entire this entire side of it is just sprawling village / town. It gets slightly denser as it gets to the center, where there's a series of docks. Sort of very tall, and you wouldn't have been able to see it at night because there was no light, but now that in the day you can definitely see it. Standing tall just behind the village is a massive statue on the island.
Made entirely of wicker.
No.
Damn it.
Anyone
You
who
have not
wants
found Burning
to,
Man.
anyone who wants to can make a
No, not
Not
Burning
the
Man.
bees.
Anyone who wants to can make anyone who wants to can make a religion check.
Oh,
I've
great.
sucked at those every
So
day.
good.
I'll try those now.
I can fail one of those.
Hey.
Ooh,
16.
I got double digits this time.
Still almost completely average.
I got a 6. That's a thing made out of wood.
15.
So it's not made out of wood; it's made out of marble. First of all.
Excuse me, made out of marble.
Secondly, why can't I remember the name?
Are the hands held up like this?
No,
Like,
no. They're actually the hands are actually like this, like it's clutching something.
it's pearls?
Those of you that rolled higher than a 10, recognize this statue as. Hang on, why can't I remember her name? Where's my fucking deity document? Hang on.
The Divinity Guide is in the handouts.
Thank you.
How dare you
I
not have
legitimately
all
forgotten.
deities memorized right now, John?
No, I
Rude.
should.
I have legitimately forgotten. Is it made out of wicker or was that a joke?
It
That
was
was a joke. That was a
It's
joke. It's
made
made
out
out
of
of
marble.
If
marble.
it's a her, it's either Argon, Eradanir.
Thank you.
Rithia.
No,
Uh,
no, she's not
it
made
is-
out of argon.
it is-
She's made out of
Oh,
It is a statue of Eradanir.
Radanir,
excellent.
Okay.
goddess of eradication.
No.
Nope.
No, Goddess of Desire.
No, there's an O instead of an A.
It's
there.
the sex goddess.
And as the
We found it, lads. Fuck Island.
I mean, good place to go on your honeymoon.
I was gonna say we did just get married. It's
That
the-
is
Huh?
This is
fair.
where the fucks are.
This is the
land of
field where
fucks.
they do grow their fucks.
Yeah.
and as the ship heads to port,
Not
you
married.
hear Lavinda sort of comes out of the captain's quarters and looks and goes. I imagine this is probably the first time most of you have been here, but allow me to officially welcome you to the goddess's bosom.
No, I've been in there before.
It's the name of the island and also the town.
Oh,
Does the
I've not been here before.
name pop up over our head with a little logo like in Sea of Thieves?
Yeah,
Neon lights, very Las Vegas.
camera like rockets up and then fires. Yeah. Issues of trading post largely, but mostly known in the Shattered Lands for the fact that everyone here is a devotee of Eradanir, and you can lose some knights here and a lot of your coin if you're not careful.
Good
What?
thing most of us are a lot more broke now than we used to be then.
More wealthy than most of the folks that come here, so.
Oh, all right. Well,
Did Titania ever give Gant the money that Vespia gave her, by the way? To give him?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
making sure.
But we'll be based on distance. We should be docking in. We should be docking in about an hour or so. So prepare yourselves.
How long are we going to stay here?
Hey, take a few hours to pick up supplies. Make sure we do a thorough inspection of the hull. Once we do the inspection, we'll know for certain how long we'll be here. But gotta make sure that dragon didn't break anything that we can't see.
Perfect.
So if something isn't broken an evening, if there is something, probably longer.
Basically. I mean, we can set sail at night if you like, but it's harder to keep an eye out for random bits of water at night.
Probably best to sail during the day.
Yeah.
So we're gonna spend a night in the bosom. Excellent.
It's a right comfortable place, let me tell you. She sort of smiles and heads up to the helm.
Is there an island for the thighs as well?
I mean, they can do whatever you like here.
Is it the south side of the island? Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go stretch my legs.
You can go prepare
just your legs.
for the marathon sprint.
Running, diving into the sand. Anyway, I mean, legs for now. What else would I need to stretch, Gint?
If you have to ask, then you're not old enough for the answer.
I'm old enough for the answer.
Then I'm sure you'll find out plenty, won't you?
Is it my pockets? because of all the gold I might be into. But I might stretch out my pockets for all the cool shit I might find and like put in my pockets. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start our honeymoon now. I turn into something that can swim and.
A mermaid?
No, not a mermaid.
Damn.
Just on the deck.
No, not on the deck. Like I jump off the
Immediate
side.
asphyxiation.
I do not asphyxiate myself. I have done this before.
Titania knows what she's about.
I have. Yeah.
Also, you could literally just turn into a giant seal and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Also, I don't feel like a mermaid would asphyxiate because I think they both have gills and lungs. That's just assumptions.
Yes, but druids can't
I've
turn into
seen-
mermaids.
No. Do you want me to figure out a specific thing? I think.
Yeah, I wanna know what you
I've
turn
seen,
into.
Like, all right. Let's
Giant
see
seal,
here.
literally.
Yeah.
Turn
I've
to-
seen. I've seen like dolphins and
manatee.
shit, clearly. Let's see. Have I seen like a sea dragon, that type of thing? I've seen dragons. We've talked about like types.
Yeah.
But I've need to see like an aquatic type of dragon to be able to turn into one or not.
You haven't seen you haven't seen a dragon that would be comfortable making its home underwater. Like you've seen metallic and chromatic dragons.
I saw that weird thing off the coast of
We've seen a
Desolation.
black dragon before.
We've also been chased by a dragon turtle.
Yeah, you also
Oh yeah,
saw that
yeah.
we go.
You have seen a dragon turtle.
Dragon
There you go.
turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You turn into a
say,
dragon
there's
turtle.
Those things are fucking enormous, though.
Can you turn into a dragon turtle? What are your restrictions right now?
Hang on, let me find my.
gonna say,
Shape change is challenge rating equal to your level, I think.
Oh, up to CR 19 now.
Oh, so
Yeah, so
you're-
dragon
so you're-
dragon turtle is CR 17.
Oh, you're casting shape change. You're not doing wild shape.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No. Let me use up one of my giant spells.
But also,
It's the
we've
perfect
seen
time.
black dragons, and black dragons are amphibious.
Are
Black
they?
dragons, blue dragons,
Yes.
gold dragons.
Are black dragons
Live in
amphibious?
swamps.
bronze or copper.
I've also
I think it's
summoned dragons.
copper.
I think that's right. That sounds right.
I have a
Also
whole
fair.
spell for it.
Yeah, black, black,
Oh,
green,
black
and
dragons have
blue
a swim-
dragons
Black dragons have a
are
swim speed.
amphibious.
Huh? I didn't know
Maybe-
that. Never mind.
maybe-
You have seen
maybe
dragons that
it's
can breathe
wrong.
underwater.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I turn into a dragon because I've always wanted to do this.
what color?
Sea dragon.
Black dragon. Or if I've seen like a is brass the other one that can swim, or is it bronze? I think it's bronze.
Bronze. Yeah, bronze or coastal
bronze,
dragons.
bronze dragons. Yeah.
Oh,
I will
okay.
turn into a bronze dragon. I don't want to get attacked when we swim in. I just want to be cool.
Yes, because
and
most people
not
can
have to
tell the
be on
difference
this
between
boat
a dragon
anymore.
that's going to kill them and a dragon that's just trying to be cool.
Can we also just draw attention to the fact
Well,
that
yeah.
Mara started this conversation by saying, "My honeymoon begins now. I
Turning
cast
into a
shape
dragon."
change."
Look,
Right?
Hey,
Nikki
we don't
would
kink
actually
shame.
start her honeymoon by turning into a dragon.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's bad.
I was more
Also,
thinking my
dragons can
honeymoon
turn
begins
into
now, and then
people,
she
so I could-
swims
I
away
could
from the
really
other
have fun
two.
with this.
I mean,
Also,
there's that.
don't kink shame people that want to bring dragons into their honeymoon. Look,
Look,
adventure.
bad dragon is popular for a reason. Anyways, so yeah, Titania leaps off the side of the ship, and there is a what size of dragon are you going for?
Obviously.
Big enough to carry 2 people with me.
I
So
mean,
adults, bronze dragon, presumably.
how big is an ancient? What's the CR of an ancient bronze dragon?
You can't make ancient. You can't make ancient. It's about 20.
Yeah, believe me.
Yeah, it is. All right, so an adult bronze dragon. So yeah, a huge
Tony
dragon
knows.
just splashes out of the water where Titania landed in it.
Are you sure this is your honeymoon and not just your vacation?
The fun thing is you can talk because dragons can talk.
Yep.
Majestic, beautiful, iconic.
Titania,
Love it.
I believe the instruction is climb aboard, Ghent, as Valdez goes to climb.
Correct.
I was gonna say, if he doesn't do anything, Vestia will push him on.
Titania says correct, but it comes out correct.
All right.
All right, two of you climb aboard the bronze dragon.
Yep.
Yep. And I'm swimming over.
Are you swimming in such a fashion that you take care not to submerge your romantic partners, or
Yes.
okay?
Correct.
So skimming
Just
along
the crocodile swim, just
Yeah,
like
Uh-huh.
with wings like sort of just gliding
Do
right
really,
over the
really
water.
want to dive, but I'm resisting that urge.
As this dragon comes skimming along the water towards the town, alarm bells start ringing. People start freaking out because there's a dragon flying towards them or swimming towards them. Coming
Tanya, dragon
at the back of the sort of back at the ship, Lavinda's like,
Nikki,
I'm
you're
just-
grounded.
I'm just gonna roll this to the side as she sort of like starts turning the wheel on the ship. Those of you that are riding on Titania watch as the ship turns right and starts sailing not directly towards the port anymore.
I'm gonna sort of angle to not go on land where I will cause mass destruction. So sort of outside the city, town, whatever.
I was just sitting there on the
So it
beach.
sort of
just
sprawls
Like, huh.
all along
Okay.
the beach.
Okay.
So you're unless you go around, you're probably gonna hit some amount of urban area in your dragon form when you hit land.
Okay.
I mean, it takes up like a 15-foot square area. You can just like find a section of beach that there isn't a building on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get as close as possible, and then probably while we're still in like the surf chain or shift back. I don't think I even have to like.
It's concentration for an hour. You can just use your action to change your shape again. It can be to anything, back into your own form.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah. So at a certain point, the dragon goes away, and I need Gent and Valdeth both to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god.
Nat 20.
Gent,
Good
you
job.
transition smoothly into swimming enough
Yep.
to at least get you to a place where your feet can touch the ground. Because where the dragon starts scraping the ground and where you would start scraping the ground is significantly farther
Pretty,
out.
I was gonna say.
than,
Definitely different distances. Yep.
Valdeth, unfortunately, with a 13, you don't quite catch it, and you just go straight underwater.
Oh
Eh.
wait.
She's not wearing armor. She's
Yeah, you're not wearing
fine.
armor,
She
so
can
you're
swim.
fine, but you're just like...
I scoop underneath and turn into a water elemental. I can change to assume a different form, following the same restrictions and rules for the original, so I can turn into a water elemental.
Okay.
Like
you-
push.
I love this for Titania.
Yeah.
She's
Just
just
turn
like
into a tidal wave and
Fine.
just like guide your
Okay.
husband and wife on.
Yet,
shore.
so yet again, same thing, but this time you're smoothly body surfing the wave, and Valdeth is like tumbling head over heels inside it.
I'm trying to like sort of like
very gently crest them into
Yeah,
the
it's
wave onto
it's
the
it's
beach.
very difficult
like,
to
lift, I'm gonna like lift with the tide.
it's very difficult to
very-
not submerge someone when they weren't prepared to swim.
very waves in Moana kind of shit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Every time Valdeth's trying to get out of the water, a hand's like gently pushing back into the water.
Don't fight the surf. Go
But
with.
eventually,
And then eventually we get deposited on the beach.
Gent smoothly slides onto the beach. Valdeth tumbles.
Oh, Gent does the whole hair toss with the perfect spray arc whole thing. You know.
The-
Yeah.
the-
Mhm.
The alarm bells have
Holds up a
stopped.
10.
There's still like sporadic screaming, but people are very confused. There's obviously a sound of confusion now because the dragon went away. And once the alarm bells stop ringing,
And
the
now you don't know where it is.
yeah, the continual reconstruction angles back to port.
The like Valdeth like tumbles onto the shore, but she is absolutely laughing the entire way that she lands. Like she lands like spread eagled on the beach and is just laughing.
Also coughing water, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll have to do mouth to mouth. How terrible.
Oh, no. The worst.
The rest of you watch this happen from the boat.
Skuz is on the beach watching this is just tickled to bits.
I mean, you're not on the beach yet. The boat is still.
Skuz was the first one. He's like, all right, I'm going to stretch my legs. Skuz
Oh,
is
yeah,
at
that was
least
the whole point.
What is Scuzz's swim speed?
Oh, when you said stretch your legs, you went swimming. I didn't realize that.
No. Skuz walked off. Skuz, unless the boat hadn't.
The boat hasn't made it to
Yeah,
port
but-
yet.
No, the
So
boat
far
is
out,
still
that's
out.
Sorry.
The boat is still out. Like
Yeah, the boat
I
was still like
assumed that the
Well
boat
well
would
out
have
to
docked.
sea.
The boat was still an hour out from the docks.
That's why Titania rushed ahead. She doesn't want to wait that's
Wait an hour,
agonizingly long.
I see. I see.
Why?
I'm caught up now.
Okay. There were specific descriptors missed, I see.
Yes.
An hour later, the rest of you on the boat get to the docks.
Are the 3
I'm
of you
sure
waiting
Titania
for us?
has
No.
gotten people.
That's what I said, I don't think
ensconced.
so.
Yeah.
They're on their honeymoon.
They're on their honeymoon.
They have vanished.
That in that case, Scuzz will turn to Grumman and he's like, Grumman,
Hey,
we should go sample the local cuisine. And I know that sounds a certain way. Scuzz is specifically talking about like food stalls.
hey, let's go.
Scott doesn't know how to innuendo.
I mean, he does. He does it,
I
but
was
he
gonna
does it by
say,
accident.
therefore,
He absolutely
everything
does
he
by
says
accident.
is probably an innuendo. Yeah,
That's how that
right.
works. You know Austin William, that's how that works.
Yeah, exactly. Austin doesn't know how to innuendo either, so everything he says is.
It's kind of amusing. Vespia will take Ithram's arm
Mhm.
and say, let's go
A couple
explore.
other things of Ithrams.
Do you not want to wait either?
What? Wait, is the boat not in dock yet?
No, the boat's in dock now. An hour has
Okay.
Oh,
passed.
it is. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Then yeah. Let's go.
Ithram still have no idea.
Yep.
Picture
My-
Vespia is just like kind of dragging him.
Brain on, head empty.
Oh, Scuzz turns around like, Sin, Morgan, Sin.
Yes.
Who am I addressing today?
Morgan at the moment.
Morgan. Hi. You want to go eat some food?
Suppose so.
Come along. And he Scuzz will grab your hand and
You're welcome.
drag you along.
All right.
It's only because Annabelle's not here to have this treatment.
So, the group of you all disembark. Some of you are much earlier than others at the goddess's bosom, which is a it sort of seems like as the 3 of you that were there that have been there for an hour, and those of you that are getting there now, it's sort of laid out basically like a resort town. Like there are there's very clearly a lot of like trade that comes through here, and so they've built themselves up on both being a supply point and also being a sort of a tourist attraction, which is probably why they lean into the worship of
Radnu.
Radnir.
Is there
Thank you.
just that one road that's straight from the docks that is just lined with stalls with people selling handmade crafts, just table upon table?
Except it's like it's the clock directions. It's northwest and east away from the southern beach. Like there's just lines in all directions, basically, of places where you can buy kitsch. And
Grumman is buying souvenirs for their grandkids.
and yeah, there's
All like horribly inappropriate.
oh, absolutely. And yeah, you
Bobbleheads.
Bobble
well,
other things.
bobble something.
no, still bobblehead, just a different head.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, God.
Did you expect any less?
I don't.
Most of you will probably interpret, sort of intuit that people are at sea for a very long time. They tend to not sleep with their crewmates because that causes unnecessary amounts of
Onboard
drama when you're trying to not die on the ocean. So this is a very popular stopping point, and that's probably why they leaned into the Radnir level of worship.
Look, brothels make the town.
In this case, the town is the brothel, but
That's how the Wild West started.
and there's also a variety of other services. Like Radnir is the goddess of love, not just sex. So there's a lot of there are a lot of like host and hostess clubs. There are a lot of like massage parlors and actual like spas and inns and like lots of there seems to be a cottage industry of cottages Specifically, they seem to have several like beachside houses or bungalows that have been designed to be like, here, come rest and relax for a little bit in a private bungalow since you've been on a ship with 15 people for the last 20 days or whatever. Lots of like very quick like day, by the day rental places. And yeah, lots of souvenir and food.
How dare you get my Sims game file, Jack? Rude.
So those of you that are looking for food, there's a very there's a very very heavy fish contingency of food of the cuisine here, and a lot of people here that actually bring in food and supplies are, if they're not working at any of the other tourist establishments, they are probably fishermen. It seems to be that, and also farm animals. There is it seems like from what you gather, there's a bit of a, on the northern side of the island, there's a lot
And
of
we
space
hit against
for,
hard limit.
there's a lot of space for herding farm animals. So they have, chicken and lamb and beef in fairly ready supply for supplies for ship as well as their general menu.
Jeremy, did you want to say something?
No, I was stretching.
Scuzz just mentioned to Grumman. Grumman, we should go either we should go fishing in the morning, or we should like wake up and catch the fishermen right when they get off their boats. I bet the seafood would be amazing, and I want to eat a fresh fish. It's been such a long time since I've eaten like super good ass fresh fish.
Let's don't eat ass fish. Eat the good ones. Let's go right now.
There's an ass fish.
Yeah, it looks exactly like you'd expect.
You see one jump out of the water.
I'm
there's
just
a small
still focused
sound
on the
as
fact
it goes
that
by.
that apparently Scuzz has found fishermen that get off their boats.
Well, look, Nikki has visited a fisherman town, and you catch the fish at like 4:00 in the morning, and then you get to your cart at 6 a.m. and yeah, and it was good ass fish.
I assume we can find someplace that's selling tackle. Or
Oh yeah,
renting tackle.
absolutely.
Oh my god, his cousin Grumman.
There's also a place that are renting fish supplies.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna have a fishing moment, sun rising.
Yep.
Yes.
Grumman knows what we need. I mean, he grew up in a seaside town, so we'll go around and get like appropriate tackle and supplies and so on for both of them. Ridiculous broad-brimmed hats matching.
Yes. Oh my god.
Will Sin indulge? Because Grumman is like getting it for all three of us.
Yeah, I think
cool.
so.
Is anyone else? No one else is with us, right?
And at the moment, no. The others have all gone their own separate ways.
All right, so the three of us have like giant fishing hats that say like
No.
Yeah, I mean, you can't find ones that don't say something.
Oh no,
here.
there's no such. Yeah, they all have slogans or
You
they all say right
misunderstand.
idioms.
I love bosom or.
Oh yeah, no,
You
there's
misunderstand.
Like, the hat that Sin has says
Fishing,
no.
yes. Hat, no.
I just all right. Well, here, and he's like, Grumman is like slowly extending a hand with a blob of like sunscreen at the end towards Sin.
I know banishment.
All right, more for me. Starts coating his enormous ears and his huge nose.
Well, it's like nighttime right now, right?
No, it's morning. The dawn just came out. Like you guys got here just after dawn.
Right. My
You
day.
spotted it at night, but then
You spotted it at night, and then by the time you got there, it was dawn.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited about this.
Because
is weirdly excited. I've never gone fishing with my dad before. Being in Tehran, we don't really like. There's not really like a really good place to go fishing. So.
Well, this looks like a great place to go fishing. I assume there are like,
which is odd considering Tehran's on the ocean.
The buckets do not go fishing in the ocean. They go fishing in the sewers. We all know this.
I was gonna say
It's got a river.
I
It does have an interior river.
Can I find a place around here that does like a decent cocktail, like a decent seaside cocktail? I'm sure it will be kitschy as hell.
I mean, it's
but like
there's absolutely a place called Cocktails. You don't know why Tails is spelled that way or both words are capitalized, but it's there.
But I mean, but you know what I mean. I mean, like actual decent ones that like are not, a drop of alcohol and the rest sugar water.
Or it's just alcohol with a splash of grenadine, just a little bit of coconut rum, or not coconut rum, coconut pineapple shit on top.
So we'll get 3 sex on the beach and in the boats and in the house. It's probably like just this incredibly long list of locations.
What it's actually called Sex on a, and then it's a blank space, and they give you a marker with each glass.
Nice.
Nice. Is it like marker of like from like
it's just got like
the bottom?
It's just got like it's got a list of places with like a check mark box next to it, and then empty spaces for you to fill your own.
I approve.
And then a bucket of ice and beers, and then and another bucket.
We'll say all of that.
Another bucket of ice.
What? We'll say all that'll cost you about 2 gold.
All right, and I was going to say, and another bucket of ice and worms, also in jars for some reason. Don't get them confused.
So there's one place they don't kink shame. It's, but yeah. So you 3 go fishing.
Guys, much of it is going to be having to explain to Sin why we don't just like drag the fish magically from the water. This is slow. This is boring.
Well, that's sort of the point, I mean, it's a way to kind of enjoy the weather, look out over the water, spend a little time together, get some time to talk, that sort of thing. I mean, getting drunk is honestly half of fishing.
All right, that I can handle.
Meanwhile, Vespia and Ithram, what are the 2 of you doing?
Fishing.
Just like down the way a bit.
Same big head, same everything.
Sure, yeah.
How crazy finding you out here.
They at this point, like Vespia has a shirt that says "I'm with stupid," and Ithram says, "Who's stupid?"
Vespia just wanted to explore, unless there's something specific that Ghent is, or not Ghent, sorry.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know that this was how we were going to interrupt the drama of the honeymoon. Huh? Dun, dun, dun.
It seems we've walked into the wrong room.
We
Or
play
have we?
3 games a week. There are a million characters in every game, okay?
Right?
I mix up names sometimes.
Hardly
Sorry.
the first time one of us has done that.
It's just weird that it's the character in the same game.
I'm sorry. Unless there's something specific Ithram is looking for.
No. Exploring, and then just based off of Vespia's insistence at the beginning, I figured we just found a room and then spent most of the morning there, unless otherwise stated.
No, that's totally.
All right, Titania.
Rest in the morning, explore at the night.
Yeah, Titania, Ghent, and Valdeth, are you doing anything other than honeymooning?
Mostly that.
Probably mostly that.
Yeah. I do need to talk to a cleric of some sort. Probably. It's a good idea.
They have spells for that, so don't worry.
No. About like the religion stuff that's been happening. That whole thing.
Look, there's a pair of weird crabs that keep following me around.
No, not that. Yeah.
One of them's got a knife.
Yes. Crab with a knife.
I need to make a roll to see when this happens. Because this is
Pinchy. I have pliers.
Look, they call him
no
the
pinchy,
Stabby
no
Crabby
pinchy.
for a reason.
You mess with the crabbo, you get the stabbo.
probably like around lunchtime. We need a break. I'm gonna just say I'll be back. I want to go and ask some more questions.
Make sure you hydrate, y'all.
Yeah.
As
there's
if-
an ooh-
Get
Valdeth
and
would
Valdeth are
ever
like
forget.
get and Valdeth are like desiccated off to one side. Tanya, fully refreshed, walks out.
Valdeth is the one who talks about hydration whenever
Yeah.
people go drinking.
It's
Valdeth will
true.
be fine.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
What I'm counting on. Yeah, and is going to seek out a temple.
Nikki, did while you were doing Slady's Night, did you ever have a poly trio this horny in Slady's Night?
Yes. I
Good.
was usually one of them in it.
All right. So, looking for a priest,
Yep. Yeah.
an old
A-
priest or a
any
young
sort of
priest?
No.
Just no.
Why not both?
There's a few different. There's
also
actually
a priestess. Any.
There's a few
very
different-
cleric.
there are a few different temples that you can find on the here at the here at the resort town. You can find Radnir, every other building, but there are also Valkyrie shrines, and there are a few shrines to Marduk.
I'm assuming there aren't ones to dig out. That seems like it probably wouldn't happen.
Not at least within the resort town. That's a bit of a downer. The Valkyrie shrine is on the docks. You sort of have to pass it every time you go to and from a ship. And
Okay.
the Marduk shrines tend to be also bars, so they are within the bar scene. There are a few bars that have like a sign out that says, Tuesday worship night, Marduk shots, and then Thursday,
Opens at 12 to 2 service, 2:30 to when we kick you out. bar.
It's 12 to 2 service, 2 to 12 bar.
I live in a very small town. Legitimately, our barbecue place is also our notary public. It's like definitely that vibe,
amazing.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and but that's the vibe of Marduk everywhere. Marduk does not have proper temples. All of their shrines are bars.
I think.
Look,
she's
you'll be
gonna
praying to some sort of god. Give or take enough shots.
I think she's gonna go for Temple of Aradnir, honestly.
Okay, so yeah, you find a Temple of Aradnir. It is it's sort of this one is oddly for as fairly unique a town as this is. The temples of Aradnir are fairly standard, which is to say, shag carpeting, cushy pillows, no pews or anything like that. Like it's all very, very comfortable and like.
And I feel like all Aradnir-based carpeting is shag carpeting.
The only hard things are the walls and the monuments. Everything else is soft inside.
That was very good, Jack.
But yeah, so you go in to. There are several that are dressed in the traditional robes of Aradnir, which is basically just the skirt of a robe and nothing else. And a few that are less formally dressed. What would you like to ask of a cleric, or which one would you like to approach? They're masculine and feminine clerics both.
I think she's gonna go up to like anyone who looks like they aren't busy with something. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a fairly effeminate, masculine looking elf wearing just the skirt of a robe and nothing else. Who just sort of he at the moment he seems to be painting and not really doing anything else. And obviously he's painting a nude portrait but not of anybody that's there. He seems to be painting something this from memory.
It's beautiful.
It's very detailed. And he looks over. Oh, thank you. Continues to paint.
I had a question, and I don't know if this probably isn't the best place to ask it, but
Feel free.
I'm not really sure. We're a little short on time, and I'm Princess Titania Valkorian of the Tyrian Empire, and I've noticed that my uncle, the God Emperor of Taram, apparently can hijack other gods' servants now. Have you noticed anything?
He raises an eyebrow.
I was gonna
Let
say
me
that.
just drop this on you real quick. Nice painting.
Hey, nice dick. Anyway,
So he sort of raises an eyebrow, and the eyebrow
How
just
long
like
has this been going on?
the eyebrow like sort of like arches. Like as you begin talking, the eyebrow continues to arch until it reaches the pinnacle, and then you finish, and the eyebrow just sort of sits there. I'm sorry, could you run that by me again? And that's where we're going to end for this week.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
bye.
Goodbye.